Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for the second predictions video of the week. This one for AEW's 2024 edition of Double or Nothing. We'll start things off with a match for the AEW International Championship, where Roderick Strong will be putting his title on the line against Will Ospreay. This match seems pretty straightforward to me, even though there's some doubt sewn in now with how the Undisputed Kingdom will be involved in this match. I think the Will Ospreay singles win streak continues and he will defeat Roderick Strong, become the new international champion. With people going into a panic with the meteoric rise of Will Ospreay in AEW, with him coming in, just running shop, having great match after great match after great match, everyone thought it would be a foregone conclusion that Ospreay would just shoot up to the world title. And this gave me the idea last month where I think Ospreay is going to take this international title and it could be used as a 1B title to AEW World Championship being a 1A title heading into the summer stretch that we have coming up. We saw last year that this title main evented All Out with Orange Cassidy taking on Jon Moxley, and I think that's what Ospreay is going to be doing, with the potential that this could be our main event championship heading in to the big show of All In at Wembley Stadium. And I think this will be the start of a crazy title reign with the aerial assassin Will Ospreay. So now on to match number 2, and that'll be an eliminator match where we'll see IWGP World Champion Jon Moxley take on Konosuke Takeshita. I just think with things set up in Japan for Jon Moxley to have a match and this run into the Forbidden Door, I believe he'll be defeating Takeshita here and moving on to something else for this summer run. With Jon Moxley seemingly having so many irons in the fire of a lot of feuds in Japan and stuff happening here stateside in AEW, I think that's the way that you can go with Moxley is to keep this rolling. And Takeshita can move on to what I could see being a crazy shakeup inside the Don Callis family, with people moving out and new people moving in, as Moxley continues on his reign as the head guy, the top champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So now on to our next match, and that'll be a straight up wrestling match where we'll see Trent Beretta take on his former friend Orange Cassidy. Now, with Trent Beretta saying this is going to be a straight up wrestling match after the fight that they had a couple weeks ago on Dynamite and Orange Cassidy walking out with the win there, I think Trent Beretta is going to come in with some underhanded tactic and walk away with the win, defeating Orange Cassidy here at Double or Nothing. With all this stuff playing in with Don Callis and Orange Cassidy, where it looks like he's recruiting Orange, I think the real recruit here is Trent Beretta to join the family, because I believe that Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher will be moving out, and I think Trent Beretta will be one of the newer members coming in after he gets this win here. I also think with Beretta getting the win here, we'll get a third match in this feud here where we could potentially see another parking lot fight, but this one featuring Trent and Orange Cassidy going at it, to where that's the blow off and this goes away for a little while. So for this Sunday night, we'll see, I think we'll be seeing Trent Beretta getting the win, and we'll see what happens next with these two former best friends. So now on to match number 4 of the evening, and that'll be for the AEW World Women's Championship, where we'll see Timeless Toni Storm put her title on the line against Serena Deeb. With things heating up in the Toni Storm feud department, I think this will we all see where things are going here, and I think she'll be retaining her women's championship here, defeating Serena Deeb. With Toni Storm, we see the writing on the wall, and the feud with Mina Shirakawa for Forbidden Door, or maybe even a three-way with Mariah May thrown in there on the horizon. That leads me to believe that Toni Storm will be keeping her title until those matches occur. Now, will this be the three-way like I said? Will this just be a one-on-one match with Shirakawa at Forbidden Door, and then we see Mariah May down the road? Maybe that's the All-In Women's Championship, where these two finally split apart, and then this will be for the World Championship. Since it seems to me that my hope for Jamie Hayter coming back and knocking Toni Storm back into color may not happen anytime soon, or even happen at all, I think that Mariah May and Toni Storm feuding for the Women's Championship is where this is all going to lead and end, coming up here after Toni Storm defeats Serena Deeb this Sunday night at Double or Nothing. So now on to our next match, and that'll be a trios match, and it's currently not for the titles, but after Saturday night I believe it will become a title match where we'll see Bullet Club Gold, the Bang Bang Gang, Jay White and the Guns take on Death Triangle. Now, I could see this match going either way, where the Bang Bang Gang keeps the trios title since they just unified them and everything, and they go on to feud with other teams. But I also think with Death Triangle coming back, you can just give them the trios titles and let them go on a run that we saw kind of going before when they had their best of 7 7 series against the Elite, and we saw how that ended. And I also think Death Triangle maybe getting these titles could add stability in this trios division where it's an actual trio group. Like, Pac can be a singles guy, but it doesn't seem like he's going to be doing that right now. And we all, or majority of us, want to see Jay White do big things on his own instead of being in this 3-man group right now, to where he's still part of Bullet Club Gold. Him and the Guns are still around, but when it comes to getting in the ring, Jay White's going to be on his own, taking on one other guy and leading that into a feud for the next pay-per-view at Forbidden Door. So with those two options, I believe Death Triangle become the new AEW World Trios champions here on Sunday. I just think the stability outlook is a good one, and I think we could see a lot of mixing here, where we could see the Lucha Bros team up to take on 2 guys, and then they all join up later to take on all 3 people. And I think we could see more and more challenges with these guys as the champions instead of Bullet Club Gold right now. I can also see with Death Triangle taking the titles, this could be a more worldly title reign, to where we could potentially see matches happen in other promotions a lot more frequently, and maybe we'll see something hop up in Ring of Honor. So that's why I think we'll be seeing new Trios champions this weekend. So now on to our next match, and that'll be a 3-way match where we'll see the Learning Tree Chris Jericho defend his FTW championship against Katsuyori Shibata and Hook. Well, I'm not going to go in depth into this match. I would like Chris Jericho to lose to either of these two and get him away from TV for a long time. I would love the Learning Tree to be chopped down, but we all know this goof-ass Chris Jericho is somehow, someway going to retain this FTW championship. I think with this being a 3-way, this puts the pressure off of Hook taking the pin or Shibata just getting dropped by Chris Jericho. But I also think this is going to turn into a weird like 2-on-2 match, since it's a 3-way, but it'll be FTW rules anyway. So Jericho and Big Bill are going to be going against Shibata and Hook, and they're going to have to team up to fend them off until it leads to the inevitable Hook and Shibata going, oh, I want to win, you want to win kind of deal. And that leads to goof-ass Chris Jericho sliding in and getting the win and retaining this FTW championship. So now on to our 7th match of the evening, and that'll be a barbed wire steel cage match for the TNT Championship, where we'll see Adam Copeland put his title on the line against Malachi Black. At the beginning of this feud, I originally thought Malachi Black would walk into this match and defeat Adam Copeland to become the new TNT Champion, leading to Copeland being absorbed into the House of Black until he eventually broke out of it. But as things go on and on and on, I don't think Adam Copeland will be getting absorbed into the House of Black, and I think he'll be retaining the TNT Championship in this barbed wire steel cage match. Now, with Mr. Copeland starting to look like his old Judgment Day self, I wonder where this could lead next for him. Could there be a fracture in the House of Black? Because as we know, the contract police are out, and everyone who allegedly knows something, but you've never seen them get anything right, are saying that contracts could be up for someone, and they want to go work with their wife, which, hey, that's understandable, especially when you've been trying to do it for years and just kept missing each other. Could that lead to the end of the group with Adam Copeland taking maybe Brody King into his throne here and making some new kind of group? Or could Adam Copeland start turning more and more heel to where him and Christian finally team up for the run as a tag team? But I feel like regardless of what's next for the Rated R Superstar, he'll still be holding on to the TNT Championship. So now on to our last 3 matches, which I think any of the 3 could be the main event. And we'll start things off with the women's match, and that'll be for the TBS Championship, where we'll see Willow Nightingale put her title on the line against Mercedes Moné. After all the turbulence, we have finally gotten to this match, and what a closing segment we had last week with Willow putting Mercedes through a table. And I think this will lead to things unraveling for Nightingale, to where I believe Mercedes Moné will become the new TBS champion. With Mercedes getting booed in that face-to-face with Willow Nightingale, and we all kind of see that this is a very, very, very heel character going on, I just wonder who and what is going to be with Mercedes to fully cement this heel turn. Could it be any of the new girl signings that we keep hearing about of Camille or Megan Bayne joining the CEO? Or could it be the 2 people we've been seeing the whole time of Stokely Hathaway and Chris Statlander jumping over to join Mercedes on her side? I tend to lean more towards Stokely and Chris Statlander jumping over to be with Mercedes Moné, and that being what Willow will overcome until she gets her another match against Mercedes Moné, maybe later at All In, or even could be the All Out main event if done correctly. But I think for this week, weekend, when things are all settled, the CEO will be rising her stock and become the new TBS champion here. So now on to our second to last match, the co-main event potentially of the evening, and that'll be for the AEW World Championship, where Swerve Strickland putting his title on the line against the Father of the Year, Christian Cage. Now, while I can see any of these last three matches being the main event, this one included, there's something about Double or Nothing to where the World Championship match has only main evented one time, and that was 2022 with Hangman vs. Punk. And I think that streak continues here to where I don't think this will be the last match we see, because I think something crazy could happen in either if Mercedes match goes last, I think we'll see like that turn be the moment of the show and everyone will be like, oh shit. But I also think in our main event, our Anarchy in the Arena match, I think something crazy could happen. Plus, we know it's going to be a bunch of crazy weapons and all that kind of stuff. I think if this match somehow gets to the main event, this will be like a happy way to end the show, because I believe Christian Cage will fail on his round to take everything away from Swerve Strickland, and I think Swerve will be retaining the World Championship in this match. I just think with Swerve just winning the title after everyone wanting it so bad, it'd be dumb to pull it off of him right now. And I also think with the Forbidden Door show coming up, Swerve's the more versatile person here to have a match with anyone from the New Japan roster. Like I think it was last year, could have been 2 years ago, where he had the match with Tanahashi on Collision before the show, and Tanahashi was not having a good night, and somehow, some way, Swerve kind of saved it, and they ended up having a pretty good match out of it. And I think anyone who could be a challenger for the AEW Championship from the New Japan roster, who could win that Battle Royal or Casino Gauntlet on Wednesday, with Swerve being the guy at the end of that, it'll be a decent match regardless of who the person could be. And I also think Swerve has a lot of unfinished business to his potential guys still on the AEW roster that we'll be seeing later down the road that people have just forgotten about. And I think Swerve should be retaining the World Championship this Sunday night in the co-main event. So now on to the main event of the evening, and this will also be the shorts hype video of the pay-per-view that'll be up tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, and that'll be Anarchy in the Arena, where we'll see the Elite of the Young Bucks, Kazuchika Okada, and Jack Perry take on Team AEW of FTR, Bryan Danielson, and Darby Allin. Before last night's show, this seemed pretty easy to me that the Elite would go in and win, and they would keep running roughshod until the inevitable chips on the table, all in, all out weekend kind of combo match that I was thinking they would do. But now with Tony Khan finding his driver's license and the keys to a car, driving Darby Allin to the ring, it puts a little bit of doubt in my mind. But I still believe that the EVPs, the Elite, will be defeating Team AEW here, leading to just more chaos happening on the weekly shows. With them getting the win and Tony Khan now back in the picture, I think we could see more dysfunctional matchups in storyline, but they all kind of make sense all in all. So where people are still going to be mad about it because it's the Young Bucks and they're still mad about something they never saw and mad about something they did see. I think this will just lead to them where it's like, okay, Swerve's got to have a match for his title. Who's it going to be? And Tony Khan has an idea, but boom, the Bucks just insert Jack Perry into the match because they're considered to be on equal levels because of the founders clause in their contracts. And I also think the Young Bucks will get put into more matches to where they'll be defending their tag team titles, with Tony Khan now being there to where they can't be cut off anymore. This also has me thinking that the all-in to all-out run that we're going to have coming up at the end of the summer stretch will lead to the all-in match or the all-out match, to where it'll be another kind of group setting match. And I could see it being a Swerve-led team against this Elite, and I think Darby Allin will be the guy to eat the pin here this Sunday night in this Double or Nothing match. Since he is coming off of being mollywopped by a bus and having a broken foot, I think it just makes a lot of sense for that to happen. And I think this will also lead into a better structuring for the all-in, all-out run, to where all-in we can have matches where it's like Swerve Strickland versus Jack Perry for the World Championship. The Bucks are defending their tag team titles against the tag team that'll be part of the other team taking on them for this big match. And also, I believe, I'm no surgeon and I don't play one on television, the Okada Omega match happening. And this also helps with Will Ospreay being in this international title picture, to where he can main event a pay-per-view, to where the world title wouldn't have to be the main focal point, leading to the big blow-off at All Out. Or maybe it's held off for a couple more weeks, but I don't know how this feels, or I like the feeling of this in a blood and guts match. And I also think if Darby Allin is the guy to eat the pin in this match on Sunday, it would pull Swerve in to where he could be like, Tony, you brought in Darby. We saw how that went. You brought in a guy who got destroyed by a bus and had a broken foot, and they lost. This is going to be my thing. And we see the seeds slightly being planted where like Swerve's just sitting at the entranceway, giving shit to the Bucks, and the Bucks just getting mad at him, and then bringing in Christian and trying to take the title from him. I can see that's where this is leading, and I think that's why the Elite are going to get the win on Sunday night. Plus, there's a part of me that thinks a surprise guy may be returning to close out this show inside with the EVPs. So that'll do it for my predictions for the 2024 edition of Double or Nothing. Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Come back tomorrow at 9 a.m. for the short for the Anarchy in the Arena match. Also, starting June 5th and every Wednesday throughout the summer, I'll be doing a Superstar Spotlight for an AEW wrestler on Wednesdays, and on Mondays for WWE wrestlers if you're interested in that. So come on back when those start coming up next month. So leave any ideas for what you'd like to see in those shorts, or any specific wrestlers or superstars you'd like to see, and hit the like button if you like this video. And as always, thanks for watching.